damn, cut it off like half a second early. Trying to get the good timing for that, or maybe I can get a somehow get some kind of auto fade for it or whatever. Mr. Darren, if you're there, how are you doing today? He's in here, but he's not actually like in here. But Anarch, Scully, how are you guys doing tonight? Also, Miss Chick with a Knife and Weapon, I see you guys out there lurking. How are you guys doing today? Let's move this camera over here. I found that the podcast, it works better if it's right here. Because this is normally where, like, Darren's picture is, so I can actually, like, talk to him instead of camera over here, Darren over here, me slightly to the side. Well, I'm glad you guys are doing good. Adam and the Ants. Don't know that one. By the way, Weapon, after this, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to talk to you about the stuff that we talked about, I think it was like 2 weeks ago at this point. And yeah, I might be able to hook you up with somebody else also if you want to do some designs for them. I think people need like album art and such, so that might be kind of cool. But yeah. Yes. I've been trying to catch you when you're not streaming because I don't want to like hijack your stream with like my random banter. And normally when I'm streaming, I don't also. Oh no. So this whole thing's only going to be about an hour long tonight. I guess Darren's got to go pick up a car and then drive to the airport and then drive home and then go to a wedding in Tucson. And he's got a bunch of other random shit to do, I guess. But yeah, Weapon, let me know what night works for you that we can like sit down, have a chat. I'd love to be able to like catch up with you and let you know everything that I'm kind of like planning on the whole thing. Yeah. Ooh, who else joined? Got a couple other names coming in. Or not, maybe. The multi-stream working today. Go over and pull up Facebook. Because I'm on there also.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
I'll be back 1 second. I gotta restart the stream just so that way my webcam's in the Discord. So 1 sec.
All right, we will wait patiently for you. And to post, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. Awesome. So let's go to my page. Put that bad boy at full screen. Oops. Gotta mute that. Oh, he's there! Mr. Darren!
Yeah.
How are you today? Good, sir.
Those things considered. Oh, hang on.
Most things. Oh, okay. Don't leave us hanging too long, then.
Come on, Streamlabs. I know I don't use you anymore except for the podcast.
Hi, Mom. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, guys. Oh, well, while Darren figures his shit out, oh, today was a long day. I was in like 6 different cities, everything from like Torrance to Hollywood. It was so much fucking driving today. I got to see. That is absolutely piss water in the background. He calls it Bud Light. We call it piss water.
Wow.
Wow. Remember, I don't drink, so it's all piss water to me.
It's okay, Ray. I never liked you.
That's all right, Ray. I love you. All right, me and you are homies. Darren can eat a dick. Mr. Darren, though, now that you're up, are you up and running now? Are you good?
Yeah.
Sweet. How are you, good sir?
Not bad. Not looking forward to the fucking drive tomorrow. For those playing the home game.
Oh, hold
I
on.
have
Let me get my counter out.
Me and Joe have a wedding to go to in Tucson. The wedding is Friday. We absolutely dropped the ball on the whole planning of this thing. And basically we got to drive out there, but I'm not so I'm confident my car would make it. I just don't want to run that risk. So, and our buddy Greg is flying out there. So, his flight was paid for and everything. So, we're going to drive out. We're going to pick up his car tonight, drive out there tomorrow, do the wedding, drive back Saturday, pick up Greg from the airport, and then home free.
All right. Well, glad all that stuff is working out for you, Mr. Darren.
Yeah.
Why can't I fit this thing?
Hey, weapon.
Fit to screen. There we go. That's what I was doing. Oh, oops. This is so dumb. So, last night, during the stream, to try to get everything working properly, I redid a bunch of settings.
Okay.
And now all of them are just freaking horrible. Oh, I can't.
It doesn't look too bad.
It's not that. It is a bunch of the other settings that I was trying to fix, like that number thing that I did is kind of like a joke or whatever.
For me?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
For some reason, this thing is now stretched super big because it was set up for, I guess, 1080p, or sorry, 1440. Mm-hmm. And now I dropped it down, and now this thing just does not want to work with me at all whatsoever. I'm just gonna have to redo this thing. Oh, well, you know what? This piece gets deleted. All right, Darren, today we don't keep numbers.
Yeah. We just keep track of things mentally.
Yeah, why not? You know,
we have brains, I think.
We'll do it the old-fashioned way. 1. But yeah, POS. Oh, my stream, yeah, it can be a piece of shit. I thought she was calling you a piece of shit for a second. I'm like, you're not wrong.
I mean,
but
yeah, it's a little aggressive, but you're kind of right.
So yeah, like I was saying, dude, I was all over the place today. So my day started off out in Torrance.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I got to drive out to Hollywood, and then I was at a construction site out in Culver City. I had to go back to Gardena to drop off stuff for work, and now I'm home. So
fuck all that.
Yeah,
I avoid driving in LA at any given possible chance.
You know, I actually really enjoy driving, especially if I have some like music going or something like that. One of the first places that actually did my job, well, I guess not the first one, the second one I did my job out in Hollywood, is a streaming place. I mean, granted, they'll never see this, but I'll give that whole thing a shout out. It was called fuck, what was it called now?
Skim?
Yes, Scam. Scam Artists.
Scam?
Scam. SKAM Artists.
Yeah, because that's probably got a great tagline.
But anyway, I walk in, right, and I talk to this guy. I have a phone number for him now, but I talk to this guy, and he's just like, oh, yeah, that's me, come on in. And as soon as I walk in, I look over and I see a computer running, and he's got like a live DJ going on Twitch. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool that he's got Twitch going. And then as I'm like walking through the house, it's actually a house that he's doing all this stuff in. I'm looking at the walls and I'm seeing platinum and gold records like lining the frickin' walls in there from like I guess like Frankie J and Baby Bash and Pitbull. There's a couple other ones that were in there, and I'm just like, who the fuck is this dude? Because they all actually have his name on these records. Like it's like, you know, what is the presented to, and then it had his name on it, and I'm just like, for 1 million record sales, for 15 million record sales, and I'm like, that shit's fucking awesome. So I think the biggest one I saw in there was a single record that had 15 million on it for record sales, and it was just so cool.
See, that's the thing. Like, in some ways, it baffles me. In some ways, it doesn't. In this day and age, as far like years way back when, it was pretty easy. If you sold a record, it counted as a unit. If you sold a cassette tape, counted as a unit. Blah. Now, literally everything is kind of predicted in a similar way to like Nielsen ratings, because a lot of people stream music as opposed to purchase and download.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, so the metric in which like platinum, gold records were defined way back when, it's like what's the metric for platinum or gold for streams? You know, that sort of shit, because
they actually have something. And I don't think Twitch has it, but I know YouTube does. And you can actually get different colored sub buttons if you're really big on YouTube.
Right, but that's YouTube though. So like if you're a YouTube streamer or whatever, like there's a couple people that I watch because they've been watching the MCU. Like first time watching or whatever. I'm like, okay, I can dig this because I've seen the whole thing, but it's cool watching someone like put all the pieces together. And once they hit, I think it's 1 million subscribers, YouTube sends them a plaque, like a big old silver plaque. So, but that's YouTube. I'm speaking on like, because I'm noticing it with TuneCore, the publishing company that I'm using for my music. Officially, as of today, I have made 34 cents off my record. Rolling in the dough.
You know, I think that's more than I've made off of my advertisements on Twitch. So you know what? Fucking get that money. You know, it's stuff that you would have done anyway, and the fact that you now have something that's taxable, dude, you've made it.
Yes, I mean, I can afford that Reese's peanut butter cup now.
No, you can't, because with taxes, you still don't have enough. But you're on your way.
No, I have enough.
34
taxes,
cents?
It would be, yeah, it would be like 32%, somewhere in that range. And 32% of 34 cents would be around 9 cents. So 34 minus 9 would turn
25 cents.
And that would be a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Aren't they like a 2-pack for $1?
No, they sell the little individual ones for 25 cents.
Oh, you're talking about the Halloween candy ones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, shit, you probably could have bought that with the aluminum cans that you crush every night from your piss water, but yes.
Fuck, yeah. But I kind of like looked over the metric of it. So for every 100 plays, I think it is, I make 35 cents off of it.
So you just have that shit on repeat in the background for yourself?
Well, what I don't know is I think most of them came from YouTube, if not all YouTube Music, if not all of them. But I haven't seen anything from Spotify yet, and I know several friends have used Spotify to find me. So I'm like, you know, how is that working out? And what kind of tells me is that it might be just ad sales. So I haven't seen the metrics on Spotify or anything else that's a subscription base. YouTube is a subscription. YouTube Music is a subscription based service, but there's the free side as well. You just get hit with ads.
Yes.
And it looks like anytime I get hit with an ad, I get paid.
So I can actually play ads now if I want to. I have that button.
Nice.
And I've thought about doing it just randomly during my stream when no one's on, just run like 6 hours of ads. just to see what would happen. Um, I think it'd be great, right? Just sitting there, like, I would be an infomercial for anyone out there that wanted,
Well, so the good thing about that is what you could do is like when you do your long like Diablo shit,
Mhm.
Every hour run like a 1 minute ad break to go to the bathroom or grab something to drink or what have you.
Mhm.
And that just if you do that every hour and just get into a routine like that. I know, right?
But anyway, so while I'm in there working, right? I see some stuff and I saw the thing, so I'm like, fuck it. So I go onto Twitch and I look it up, and they've got like 20,000 followers. They are a partnered organization, so they've got that little purple check mark next to their name, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then I see this woman walk in, and she goes over and starts kind of like messing with some stuff in the room that I saw with like the green screen and such. And then I'm like, all right, whatever. This is actually when you were also streaming. So I left your Call of Duty stream to see what was going on. And originally, why are you guys barking? Stop your barking. Just go lay down. Thank you. Originally, I started the stream because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't making too much noise. Because if my stuff was getting picked up on the stream, well, kind of fucked, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, if you want the service, you want the service.
Right.
So I ended up watching the stream for a little bit, and it was just really cool being able to like hear the music playing live, because it's not just straight. Oh, Mrs. Home. That's why the dogs are going apeshit. But I was able to like hear the music live, and then directly after, I'm able to hear everything else, and it's kind of funny because now I kind of see how Missa feels, where I'm sitting here talking to people and responding to things or whatever it happens to be, and she has no idea what the fuck the conversation is. So I'm like hearing her be like, "Oh yeah, that's a dope song," like, and I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? So I actually had to go to the stream, look, and they're like listing off all of these songs that they're wanting her to play and whatever it is, and she was a lot of fun. I had to laugh though. One sec.
Dude, trust me, I get it. So Joe's dog, I swear to God, slightest wisp of wind outside, and he's fucking barking to high heaven, even if it's fucking Joe, and or me. But like once you're through the door, he's like, "Oh, human, play with me, feed me, give me attention."
That's it.
You could rob Joe blind.
So,
The dog just looks threatening.
My parents used to call our dogs watchdogs. They'd watch people come in, take what they want, and watch them leave.
Yeah, I forgot what my mom calls those kind of dogs. Sarah's got Joe's girlfriend has 2 wiener dogs. I think those are like more along the lines of, I don't know if it's wiener dogs or terriers that like hunt rats.
Both. They were both actually bred to hunt small animals. That's actually why one of the breeds is called a rat terrier. It was a ratting dog. So anyway, I had to laugh at this DJ though, because apparently she was kind of young. I couldn't really tell because I didn't like, she was like across the house from me inside this little booth or whatever, but she was playing one of Eminem's old albums, and she decided to start playing Guilty Conscience. I don't know if you remember that song or not. So anyway, the song breakdown, it's three verses. The first verse is, yes, we did. We actually had a rat dog. His name was Rat. So that's what my mom's talking about. But so she's playing this thing, and the song has 3 parts to it, right? The first one is a guy contemplating robbing a liquor store, and his conscience is basically Eminem and Dr. Dre are the 2 sides. Eminem is the devil, Dr. Dre is like the angel voices, like on the shoulders, and they're like talking to him back and forth about why you shouldn't do this. The last verse, and I skipped the middle one because that's the one that she didn't even get to the final verse, the final section. The last section is all about a dude walking in on his wife cheating on him, and they end up both the voices come to a consensus that fuck it, just kill them both because that's what they deserve. The middle section, like, I'm kind of surprised that of all things that Eminem has ever done, I'm really surprised that this didn't get him canceled. It's literally all about date raping a 15-year-old girl.
The thing about Eminem is
where to start, right?
right. So there's certain things in pop culture that we've had over time that have pushed the envelope of I don't know if it's the right term, but etiquette and morals and ethics. The thing of it is like way back in the early, I think it was the mid 80s, when Dee Snider from Twisted Sister went up to Congress on a subcommittee about the rhetoric in music, specifically rock at that time. He went into deep description about how, first of all, this is fucking art and poetry with a musical backing. This is a far cry from what is portrayed in movies and TV shows, even in the 80s. All right, and he was 100% correct.
I mean, just look at Total Recall.
Oh, yeah. And you fast forward a little bit, and you have things like Beavis and Butthead. Or I would say the one cartoon of that category that never caught any attention was Ren and fucking Stimpy.
I was not allowed to watch that growing up.
I love Ren and Stimpy. And like Beavis and Butthead pushed a lot of envelopes, but Ren and Stimpy fucking hopscotched over them, and they were completely overlooked long before fucking South Park.
Yeah.
And but then again, Beavis and Butthead got a lot of notoriety because it was getting pretty fair airplay on MTV. And then Mortal Kombat was another one. I think that and Night Trap went to Congress on a subcommittee in the violence of video games. Same shit. You guys portray this shit all the time in movies and TV, but we're gonna get the fucking shtick for it. So that was the ESRB rating system. Beavis and Butthead got the past primetime slot, something like that. Now you enter somebody like Eminem, and those are not the only things over time. But you're constantly pushing the envelope of things, and to where now we become desensitized in our own rhetoric of people are talking about things, aside from most of the things that Eminem fucking talks about. Most of the things that are in entertainment are things that we're already thinking about or already dealing with. This is nothing fucking new. All right. But now we go into 2010 to 2020 and all that shit's subject to cancel culture. So yeah, Eminem probably wouldn't make it a year in this day and age if he had debuted in the mainstream in this day and age.
Well, what it was, sorry, I'm moving things around, guys. I'm trying to grab this thing and it's not wanting to grab.
Oh yeah, Weapon. Night Trap is fucking stupid.
Here's the thing with that. First off, too, because you brought up Mortal Kombat again, somehow you always manage to do this shit. But
it was a fair point because it was bringing up things that push the envelope.
Yes, and like Elvis, fine, Elvis pushed the envelope. Beavis and Butthead was, and the reason they caught so much flack is that there were kids out there doing the things that Beavis and Butthead were doing. So,
name another thing that got a lot of popularity. That was just that.
Well, let me finish the one thing before I go on to other ones. I remember hearing on the news that kids were dropping bowling balls off of the overpass of freeways because they saw it on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right. Even now, I'm like, yeah, kids are retarded. Kids are stupid. I shouldn't use that word.
That's okay. I mean, again, that right there. So there are situations that are just common verbiage, and and this is what you were asking me a couple months back about following certain people on social media or whatever. Are you going to get any backlash from that? Yes, to a certain extent, when you are in the spotlight of entertainment or say Twitch.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I actually do remember that, Mom Janine, when that happened. Um, there are instances in which, yes, the filter should be on to a certain degree, but not so much to change who it is you actually are. So, because otherwise, now you're just a hypocrite and fake. And the one person that's actually dealing with this right now is Ellen DeGeneres. She comes off as this clandestine giver, awesome, fun to watch, whatever, and probably even to the studio audience that may be the case. But there's been enough people to corroborate the opposite, that she's, hell on fucking heels.
So I'll be honest, and this might be, unpopular opinion, but I've never liked Ellen DeGeneres. Like,
I that's she's been like, I neither here nor there. I don't hate her, don't like her. I just don't care.
I mean, I just never understood where her whole type of show ever fit in.
And
Because it wasn't an Oprah. Because, I mean, Oprah actually had, like, decent guests and decent conversations. And I give Oprah all the credit in the world. It wasn't Jerry Springer. It wasn't.
Jerry Springer was different.
Well, everyone wanted to be Jerry Springer. Fucking Maury. Well, Steve Wilkes was on Jerry Springer as the bodyguard, and then later became something else. Montel Williams, Ricky Lake, like literally everything now. Maury is now the most well-known thing from it is "You Are Not the Father." I mean, that is a Jerry Springer thing.
Yeah, but the thing about the Jerry Springer things is the Jerry Springer shows were taking honest people or honest situations and scripting some of it, to try and it's shock entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Jerry Springer was. Whereas Oprah was talk show entertainment, and I agree. I did a couple studies on Oprah, and she's a profound businesswoman. Got all the respect in the world for her. Ellen DeGeneres, I think, was already an established entertainer. I don't remember if she was in comedy specific, like if she was a comedian or an actress turned talk show host. So it's my thought on that when she debuted. I'm like, cool. So you couldn't hack it in the acting world. Now you got to go to a talk show just to be something.
It's the bad thing is, and this is going to come out horribly, but be that as it is, the only reason she ever got any notoriety at all is she was the first openly gay talk show host.
Right.
That's it.
And and that was the other thing I thought about back then too. I'm like, if you're coming out like that while your talk show's like in its first or second year, you're using that to springboard your fucking ratings.
Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah, people are corroborating that she was a stand-up comic.
Okay, she was a stand-up. I don't know about comedic, but she stood there on stage with a microphone.
I mean, even the music business is no different than comedy. Either you're doing something wrong that you can change to where you get over with your audience because you're doing something wrong, or that's just not what you're good at. It's one of those two things, and if it's neither one of those two things, then you're successful. But when you try to use that as a transition it's a pivot basically.
So just going back to Oprah real quick, how great would it have been Trump versus Oprah 2020? I really wanted to see that. And I also think that they need to bring back Celebrity Deathmatch.
Celebrity Deathmatch?
No? No one? I mean, they tried doing a reboot and it was freaking horrible. But
my mic wasn't on. Well, my mic was on, but Streamlabs for whatever it was disabled.
Oh.
Can't hear Doc. Ah, that's why. Interesting.
Why did you attack me in your shit?
Go ahead and say something.
Something. Oh, sorry, something.
Thanks, man.
Got you, homie. But
Keep going.
okay. So there was that, as far as like these things that like pushing the envelope or whatever it is. But going back to where this whole conversation started with that DJ, she wasn't actually really paying attention to the song or anything like that. Apparently, she'd never heard Guilty Conscience. This is a song that was played on the radio at, I mean, nauseum back in high school. I'm talking like our freshman, sophomore, junior years. Like this thing was, the album came out, I think, my
If I heard it, maybe
8th or 9th grade year. I think it was either his second album or it was Chronic 2001. I would have to look up the actual thing for it, but the song was Guilty Conscience. And so, all right, Weapon, have yourself a good one.
Yeah, bud.
But she literally was like, "Whoa, that got dark real quick. I think I need a shower after that." And I'm in the other room, and I'm just like,
well,
you sweet child.
The appreciative thing about Eminem is when it comes to rap and hip hop, I would say probably a good 90% of it, 90%, if not all of it, is based on iambic pentameter. The very unorthodox styles is uniambic, where it's just kind of off sync. And only very few rappers can actually do that very eloquently. Some of the old schoolers like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Run DMC, they were all capable of that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the new rappers today, and even Snoop pointed it out once. He's like, these motherfuckers, trying to say 50 words in 5 seconds. It just gets ridiculous. But Eminem, at the same time, there were a lot of rappers that shot out a lot of curse words where it was like every other word was a curse word, to where there was really no poetic style to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you enter someone like Eminem, who literally says something different every line.
Yep.
So you just add shock value to that kind of talent, and yeah, that draws money.
But it was just weird. I think a couple months ago, someone tried canceling Eminem again. It was some high school girl that had apparently never heard of him or never really heard his music. I was trying to get him canceled. It was "Love the Way You Lie." It was one of his most recent songs with Rihanna. And the very last line in the song is, "I'm tired to the bed and set the house on fire." And that is the line that this chick wanted to try to get him canceled for. The shit about lining up kids in Columbine, not about raping his mother, or not about the beating of gay people, or about the sexual assault of 15-year-olds.
Like we could do a laundry list of all
that's what I'm getting at. Like, there was a laundry list of things that were coming out, and they're just like
that's the one you're gonna pick?
That's what you're doing? Of all the fucking things.
You're gonna pick out a fucking scene from Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's it.
Part fucking 5. But
it was just really funny to me that chick was trying to do this. And I'm assuming a gender at this point. I apologize if you are non-binary, non-gendered, non-person, if someone wants to be called an Apache helicopter, I'm 100%. I will call them an Apache helicopter. All right. If it makes them happy, I have no issues with it. All right. All right. I don't care what does or does not swing between your legs. That is on you. And quite honestly, Darren, I have never seen what swings or does not swing between your legs. I'm going off of the preferred pronouns that you've given me from the time that we've met.
Don't worry, there's a lot that swings between the legs.
So, on the other thing, there's a lot of people that have seen what swings between my legs. I will give an example of that after you do your thing, because it was an amazing example of Marissa meeting military people for the first time. Continue.
Nice. identify as a helicopter. What's the problem here? My thing is, you know, I guess do whatever floats your boat. I think everything's starting to transcend way too many different elements. It like the whole like self-identification of gender and orientation, it has become the Yamaha of fucking society. All right. Yamaha makes what? They make ATVs, they make keyboards, they make Sea-Doos, they make drum sets, they make guitars, they make fucking everything.
They make recorders, because that's what I had growing up.
They make recorders. But how much of that product is actually good quality? And I'm sorry to say, but when you start comparing those within the same industry, they suck. All right. So the short description is you're getting too diverse with this whole fucking self-identification bullshit. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're transsexual. I don't care. But don't convolute the entire society with all these fucking acronyms. I'm sorry. Anything more than 3 letters for an acronym,
And he's gone. I think that is Twitch canceling Darren. Oh, I guess. Yeah, it was. Darren,
Discord.
I think Discord just canceled you.
But anyway, what I was saying was, hey, you know, I get people, you know, have this orientation or have this identification, but I'm sorry, anything that needs more than 3 fucking letters for an acronym probably is an acronym that belongs in the military.
Yes.
Other than that, it's too fucking much.
So I had a conversation with someone that is of the LGBTQ plus.
Jesus.
Plus.
Symbols?
Yes. No. The plus is just for everything after LGBTQ.
There's operators in the acronym.
There actually is. There's a number 2 now. There's a 2S in there for 2 spirits.
Oh my god. What the fuck is 2 spirits?
I would have to look it up for you, but it is something along the lines of you kind of feel like you're an animal also and connected in that way. I wish I was making this shit up, but it's a thing. And so, but talking to this person, we decided that the entire thing, and they were the one that were totally cool with the whole thing, queer.
All right.
Not male, not female, does not matter what your orientation is, it is out of the ordinary, it is queer. But queer is also, the full version is now LGBTQQIP2SAA.
Oh, they have an IP address. All right. Interesting.
I think that you're missing a couple of things in there also, which is the funny thing.
That's exactly my point. That's a serial number.
No, because my serial number for my weapon was only 8 digits. That is actually longer than a serial number. Oh.
Jesus.
Yep.
Questioning queer, intersex, pansexual, 2-spirit,
Yep.
Androgynous.
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 Thank you.
My God.
And again, guys, I am not in any way, shape, or form bashing these people. They are amazing people. I was in theater for fucking years with Darren, actually.
I have a childhood friend who came out we knew he was gay at like fucking 13. He came out at like 24.
Yeah, we've all know who's like, come on. It's funny. Missa actually has a friend that since the moment I met him, I'm like, he's gay. And she's like, well, he's never come out of the closet or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he just said yes with like 3 A's and 4 S's. He calls Beyonce Queen Bee and said he's part of the Beehive.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, but this...
Yeah.
And again, granted, he's nothing to do with his sexuality. He's just a shitty person. But,
he's definitely swinging for the other team.
like I said, I'm all for it. Like, whatever you want to do, whatever hole you want to poke, go for it. But oh my god, if you're a shitty person, you're just a shitty fucking person.
Exactly. Stupid,
I
shitty.
I can deal with.
Those, those don't know a gender. They don't know orientation. I don't think they even know species, because there's some animals that are assholes.
Chihuahuas. Chihuahuas are assholes. I love dogs. Chihuahuas are assholes. I found out that Batty was part Chihuahua. I almost stoned her.
Cats in general are assholes.
Cats are assholes. Except that one that your
monkeys.
parents had. That dude,
Oh,
that
God. Good fucking God. The
Well,
Wildcats?
yes, dude, that thing was gigantic. I loved
yeah.
that thing.
I'm trying to, like, I picture something for everyone to, like, use as, like, a ratio.
This cat was the size of like a Springer Spaniel. Like this cat was gigantic.
So we used to have an Akita Shepherd. When the male cat was 2, I think he was about 1/3 the size of an Akita Shepherd.
Not a Maine Coon. It was.
I don't know if that helps anybody.
I forget the name of the species, but
1/3 the size of a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
That's how big this cat was. It was a fucking mountain lion, but it was what's called a hybrid Chelsea. This asshole had fucking personality, all right? But he was chicken shit at the same time. So he would patrol around the house. He would do jungle cries, and I am not kidding you when it sounded like this, but it would start off, wow.
I remember this. It was so great. I always told Darren that he needed to put it in one of his songs back then as like the intro or outro, and he never did it.
Our neighbor, who himself was a chicken shit, he fucking walks in the house as he's doing his jungle cry, as we called it, because apparently that's what it is. And he walks in as he's doing like the deep jungle cry, and he said, I don't know if anyone's seen Spawn, where you remember Clown?
Mm-hmm.
And his fucking jaw just expands, but that's what it looked like to him. He said it was like it was something straight out of the bowels of hell.
Speaking about things swinging between my legs, story time for how Missa got to meet my army friends for the first time.
You're not leading this well.
There's nothing good about this entire thing. So we were at the hotel. So I was down with my unit during actively drilling, right? And because of where I lived, they gave me a hotel room to stay there because I was like 83 miles away from the unit. So I'm down there and we're back at the hotel. We're actually in my hotel room, and I've got probably like 7 or 8 people from the military, and then Missa. There's like 2 females there, a couple of like E4s for the most. Basically, it was like the E4 Mafia, and then like an E6 and an E5 that like kind of like just joined us and just hung out with us. One of them was a brand new E5, Sergeant Vega. Brand new. I mean, brand new to the unit, not a brand new E5, but brand new to the unit. Okay. So he like came over because he liked joking with us at like drill and whatever, and we're all hanging out. And he's had a couple of drinks, and him and this other dude are getting in this like pissing match back and forth. Just and guys, I'm like, seriously, shut the fuck up. My dick's bigger. And Vega, not knowing any better, is like, yeah, prove it. So, at about the height of the camera, as you guys can see, and that's about where his head was, sitting on one of those things. Unzip, pull my stuff out real quick, and he's sitting there just looking at me, just eye level with it. He takes a sip of beer, stands up, puts his hand out, says, respect. And at that...
I mean, what else can you do at that point? If you're the dude calling someone out and they just, yeah, my dick's bigger, and then you get called out, all right, prove it. And you just fucking flop it out.
And the funny thing is that everyone else in the room is like, oh, fuck, he did this, didn't he? Because they've all known me for years. Even the 2 females are like, yeah, we've seen it.
Even as much of an asshole as I was back then, I'd probably be like, hey, probably shouldn't call him out for that.
So, but that was Merce's first interaction with the military people.
Wow, and she still stayed with you all this time. Interesting.
I mean, come on, that is a good group of people right there. There was no EO complaint. There was no harassment charges. I wasn't busted 7 ranks down for, whatever other random shit that they would do.
I mean, it was consented.
Yeah, right? My mom doesn't surprise me. Wow, thanks, Mom. Oh yeah, and I wasn't drinking. I myself was totally sober doing this.
No, I can see that happening.
Anybody that knows me, I heard the story before but never asked.
Oh, well, now you got your wish.
So yeah, there's that. But it was just always a fun thing, like with anybody around, it was always just, let's have fun. You know what I mean?
Well, at the same time, too, being in the military, the amount of shit that you either deal with or see kind of makes everything else that people would normally sweat nothing. You no longer sweat the petty shit.
Mhm.
Now, when you start transitioning back in, so Joe's about to experience this. When you start transitioning back into the civilian life, there's a lot more do's and don'ts that you kind of have to come to terms with, especially when you take on new management roles.
I will say that he actually has it a little bit easier than the enlisted side. Because he, even in his thing, the worst that he did, the worst that he could do, he still had to rein it back because of the position that he's in. Enlisted, like E6 and below, we don't give a shit. The fuck you gonna do? Send me to Iraq? Like,
in a way, you're kind of correct, because the responsibility of the enlisted falls upon the senior NCOs. The short description, and funny enough, I think it was a couple years back. Joe and I were already friends at this point, but nobody at the base knew, and so
fraternizing.
Yeah, I know. In the Guard, it's just kind of brushed off to the side.
There's Missa.
The whipping out the dick story.
Oh, before we get off the topic of whipping out dicks, I have to do one more thing real quick. No, I'm not going to whip my dick out. Don't worry, guys. But anytime I was at a party and I would hear guys having pissing matches or anything kind of like that at all, the girls, are kind of listening to it, not really listening to it at that point. And it's like, guys, shut the fuck up. I am 3 inches and 30 seconds of snarling fury she'll never forget. And then I'd walk away. And that shit works. I don't know why. Continue, but yeah.
But years back, I even told someone straight up, because they were having a kind of I think what it was is the senior listed of like one organization was basically trying to pass the buck off of doing a job to the commander. And they're like, Commander, why don't you make the fucking, plan of all this? And I immediately fired back within our own unit. I'm like, that's not how this works. So command sets the direction of where they want to go. The senior enlisted gets you there. So if the senior command wants to go in this direction, senior enlisted is supposed to come up with A, B, and C on how to do that. And so, yes, there's more of a direct management approach on that side. But in someone like Joe's position, for example, it's more on the command side. And that tends to have its drawbacks when you switch to the civilian world or private sector specifically, because you start dealing with managements and concepts that are not applicable from the military at all. So knife handing people doesn't work. Raising your voice doesn't work.
It all depends on your position.
It does.
I will knife hand the fuck out of somebody still. I still say to people that, if it were legal, I would throat punch you.
Okay. So I can tell you firsthand, that's assault.
No, like I said, if it was legal, I would throat punch you. Not you, but...
The intent's still there.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Because you're saying the only barrier to entry of you throat punching someone is the fact that it's not legal to do so. Otherwise,
Okay.
you do it. Otherwise, the bottom line is you want to.
Yes, I also want $1 million, and if it was okay to do, I would rob a bank. But
assault is defined as the imminent threat of harm.
There is no imminent. There is no imminent threat. There is a barrier there.
So your statement, if it were not legal, I would throat punch you, means I want to throat punch you, right?
Yes, I do. I do want to throat punch this person.
That's a threat.
But just wanting to do something and actually doing something are two totally different things.
Not in the eyes of the law. Trust me, I'm with you on it, because there's a lot of times, even in the private sector, where it's just like, I just want to punch you in the mouth right now because you're that fucking stupid. But I, at least have 4 degrees of training and, at least over a decade of experience of knowing, what to say, when to say it, or what not to say.
I will continue to say I want to throat punch people in the mouth.
All right. That's on you.
I actually even used that phrase, not at the child, of course, but I actually used it in the theater class that I used to help out with.
Anyone can tell the truth, but it's usually always exaggerated. You got a dude bragging they tiny. That's someone who knows some things.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
my mom. Okay, so the when you actually hit someone super hard on both sides of the carotid artery.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how it kind of like buckles their knees and they kind of just like stop for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was someone that used to come around to the parties that liked being knocked out in that way. And so I'm like, fuck it, why not? And so he'd be pissed drunk and would get laid out just from...
For the fuck of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I was randomly going around just choking people out or anything like that. I mean...
Yeah.
That's assault, see?
No. So actually making contact is battery.
Well, wouldn't that be assault and battery?
That depends. So if I'm gonna fuck you up and then you actually fuck up the person, then it's assault and battery. If you just say I'm gonna fuck you up, then it's just assault.
See,
if you say nothing and you fuck someone up, then it's just battery.
I am going to defer all of this conversation to the BLM attorneys. Because they apparently know something that we don't. Because none of those people are in jail or have charges pressed on them for Darren's legal version of assault. But apparently these definitions have been changed, just like the definition of racism. And also, did you now know that it is considered derogatory and what is the other word for it? Discriminative.
Oh.
No, it is actually discrimination now to ask a person what their sexual preference is.
Isn't that like something you'd want to know?
That is now considered a derogatory and a discriminative term.
Oh God.
Because it was stated by one of the representatives or something from Hawaii.
Oh God, no, she's a fucking idiot. That people are, they're fucking idiots. Okay, so I go to a bar and I talk to a chick, and
that's also derogatory to call them chicks.
What? Female, girl, what? Yeah. I'm old school.
Doesn't matter. And you need to use the proper 35 whatever genders.
Oh, the serial number?
No. That's sexual preference, which is apparently you can't actually use. No. That is not gender. That is the who you wanna sleep with. Because I can't use sexual preference apparently. But yeah.
Not like bitch list.
No, the bitch list. That's a story for another time.
Yeah, so if I'm going to a bar and I'm talking to a chick and I have no idea she's a lesbian, she basically, outside of being nice, would otherwise just tell me to fuck off anyway. But if some dude came up trying to talk to me, here's the question, is it reverse discrimination if I turn him down because I'm straight?
It depends on who the lawyer is and in what state.
Great answer. Because a good lawyer would say yes.
No, it really actually at this point it depends on what state you're in. If you're in California, not even just California, it depends on what city you're in. Because if you're in West Hollywood and a dude comes up and hits on you, there's a chance that you might actually get sued for discrimination. Because I'm sorry, if you're in a club in West Hollywood, you're probably at Tiger Heat or Rage. That's the end of it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't club. Number 2, go to clubs in West Hollywood. The only time I will go out anywhere in West Hollywood is if we're visiting our buddy Greg, who lives out in Toluca Lake.
Okay.
And we really don't even go to clubs. We go to there's a Western, like not a country restaurant, but like a barbecue restaurant right next door to him. And then he also lives right by the One Up. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's basically a bar with arcades.
Yes, I have been there.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom just reminded me. She actually used to go out and the last time she was like out here. Yeah. I think that's supposed to be gay men in West Hollywood. She went out with a couple of drag queens, like some just over the top queens in general, and just had the time of her life. Like
The one thing I will admit that you will never run into at a fucking gay bar is the testosterone bullshit.
lies.
So what you run into there is the fucking female, like, claws come out bullshit, but with dicks. You'll run into that, but you won't run into the testosterone bullshit of, like, people thinking that they're, harder than anybody else. So
See, I don't know. Yeah, even Simon's like false. But but all of that being said, I'm all for whoever you want to do, whatever you want to do with them, as long as it's consensual. Have at it, have fun. Have fun, be good, be safe. Use a
just
condom.
don't throw a fucking serial number on it.
Dude, I think the serial number thing's great.
It just be straight fucking forward, The alpha male thing ain't just a heterosexual trait. No, the alpha male concept ain't just a heterosexual trait, but
it is called toxic it's called toxic masculinity.
Oh God, you're gonna throw that fucking word.
As what I heard from Karen
You're so toxic.
and Brenda. Oh, Karens. But with that being said, I know you've got to get out of here. Today was a really short stream, guys. Darren and his stupid ass is driving to Tucson. Why didn't you just fly?
Admittedly, me and Joe really dropped the ball on it. If we had been on top of it, we would have gotten our tickets like 2 months ago when they were only $200. But at the same time, me being out of work, the last thing I want to do is spend money on a fucking flight.
So why did you even RSVP with this whole thing? This better be a good friend of yours.
Yeah, he's a buddy of mine from Borderline.
All right.
We all know him, a toxic helicopter.
We call those Apaches. Jesus.
Yeah, Apaches are pretty toxic. They'll fuck you up.
God. Darren, thank you so much for coming in, hanging out with me. I don't think there is anybody to raid at this point, but let me take a look and see if there is.
You got both Balbanes.
Oh, we do have both Balbanes, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, there's also a guy named Dad Bod Streaming. But let's...
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut bait from here. Thank you, everyone.
Yep, I'm gonna raid Seth. As long as I'm spelling his name correctly. Just gotta double check this shit. It's the underscore that gets me.
All right, man. Let's take off.
All right, man. I will talk to you probably next week sometime.
Probably.
All right.
See you, man.
Let's raid Seth, guys. Give him some love. Hang out with him for a little bit. And then, yeah, I'll probably be on to play some games later on tonight. So, Have yourself a good night, and I will talk to you again. Should not know when I'm gonna stream next, but I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow. Anyway, have a good night, guys. I'm out.